Hello, sir. Officer Brown, Albuquerque Police. Did you just hear a gunshot?
I did it.
You did hear one?
Yeah, I did.
Where'd it come from?
Jon Jones. Jones was arrested in Las Vegas Friday morning.
I hate you.
This guy's got a lot of demons, man.
A black man can't drink?
That I was not drag racing.
Jon Jones was tested out of competition on December 4th. When he was tested, he tested positive for cocaine.
You know I would absolutely kill you if you ever did something like that.
You could.
Jon Jones is the greatest MMA fighter in history. While preparing a documentary about this man, I would have wanted to stay only inside the cage. However, when it comes to Jon Jones, staying inside the cage is impossible.
Are you a good guy trying to be bad, or are you a bad guy trying to be good?
That's a good question.
Would produce a Baltimore Raven and a young stud New England Patriot. I'm talking about your brother Arthur and then Chandler with the Patriots.
Yeah.
And they play each other obviously on Sunday night.
Yeah.
How do you explain that all three of you came from the same household?
Jon's father was a pastor in a church and didn't allow anything at home that he thought was the devil's invention.
No sleepovers, no cable TV.
Really?
Wow.
No cable TV?
No cable, we never
How
had
could you
cable.
watch First Take?
We weren't watching First Take.
Jones's father had wrestled in high school and had lined the basement with mats so that all three of his sons could wrestle. With nothing else to do at home, the three boys would wrestle with each other every day.
So, you know, it's really a big contributor to my parents, kind of trying to raise us as old school as possible.
As a result, Jon Jones became one of the greatest MMA champions in history, while his two brothers played in the NFL and managed to win the Super Bowl. Three top-level athletes came from the same family, not just by chance, but also thanks to Jones's father raising his children in a disciplined and competitive way.
You know, really, at the end of the day, it's a total blessing. And I have to, you know, give credit to God first and foremost, and then my parents, you know.
In high school, Jones played football and earned the nickname Bonds from his coach because of how skinny he was.
Came from my high school. Basically, my coaches on my football team, they always called me Boney.
During those years, he also proved to be a strong wrestler, which allowed him to earn a college scholarship. At university, he competed in many tournaments and achieved significant success. But at the same time, Jones faced a personal surprise. His girlfriend was pregnant. He now needed to make money. Wrestling in college was generally a good career opportunity in the US, yet he had to earn financially, and the fact that wrestling was just starting to gain popularity in America at the time created a conflict in his mind.
Right. It's fun, man. It's a freak show. It's wild. It's great.
Because Ultimate Fighting, explain this to people that don't know. Ultimate Fighting, you can do whatever you want.
What Ultimate Fighting is it's in a cage, it's in an octagon, and it's like a combination of, and what the Ultimate Fighting Championship did is say, let's find out, and they threw them all together.
After 6 months of MMA training, Jon began his career by fighting in small regional leagues across the US. In just 3 months, he had 6 fights, finishing all of his opponents. His impressive performance quickly caught the attention of the world's biggest MMA organization, the UFC.
To the UFC after only 9 months of MMA training, so I mean, which is really unheard of.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of rules and a lot of things about MMA I didn't understand.
Johnny Bones Jones! Short black trunks for Jones, white trunks for Guzman. Johnny Bones Jones!
Absolutely spectacular. What he's done to guys like Stephan Bonner.
Bones Jones! True. Johnny Bones Jones.
Well, he mixed
in a disqualification of Johnny Bones Jones. Therefore, the winner is Matt Hamill.
Jon Jones began his MMA career in April 2008, and by June 2009, he had an undefeated 9-0 record. However, Jones would suffer the first and only loss of his scandal-filled career. In the fight, he was clearly winning against Matt Hamill. He was disqualified for illegal elbow strikes. Elbow strikes are, of course, allowed in the sport, but the 12-6 downward elbows he used were prohibited under the rules.
12-6 elbows. From standing in the guard, anywhere. 12-6 elbows illegal still, which is the dumbest thing in the world.
Beat myself up about it, you know, now I know the rules and you would never see me going out that way ever again. And it's good not to be undefeated, because sometimes when guys are undefeated, they try to protect this perfect record instead of going out there to just continue to dominate.
Although this fight was officially recorded as a loss on Jones's record, it didn't take away from his charisma. Unofficially, Jones was seen as the true winner of that bout, and the UFC continued to match him against even tougher opponents.
Get on that neck of Brian
again. The UFC wants to give you the opportunity to face Shogun Rua for the light heavyweight championship of the world. Let's do it!
At 23 years old, Jones became the youngest champion in UFC history, a record that still hasn't been broken and doesn't seem likely to be anytime soon. With his long reach, wrestling background, and the way he was raised, Jones seemed practically built for this sport. The belt he won at 23 was one he would never lose again, at least not inside the cage.
Champion of the world, Jon
Jones wasn't just defeating his opponents, he was literally crushing them inside the cage. His wrestling, ground and pound, low kicks, powerful punches, and elbows thrown from different angles always found a way to hurt his opponent. Jones had easily beaten many former champions, and talks of him being the greatest of all time had already begun. However, the Swedish Gustafsson was about to give Jones the toughest challenge of his career. After Gustafsson, Jon Jones also took Glover Teixeira out of the way. Jon Jones versus Gustafsson 2 was arranged, but Gustafsson withdrew from the fight due to injury. Jones had already cleaned out the whole division, they couldn't find an opponent for him anymore. However, during this time, a man who dropped from heavyweight to light heavyweight challenged Jones.
Jon Jones, no matter where you go, boy, I'm coming!
The two had already had conflicts before, and now they were in the same division. There was no reason for Dana White not to arrange this fight.
I'm not afraid of Jon Jones in any way, shape, or form. So he's not gonna come in there and try and bully me. That's not gonna happen. So yeah, I push his ass. Get out of my face. He's on Twitter. Get some ice for your face. I'm fine. If that is the best you got, he's in trouble.
Hey, bro. That's him.
Where?
Pro MMA. Right here. That's him.
Charlie 5230521.
Pro MMA.
The caller's advising
Yep,
them.
that's him. True Honor. Dude, I wonder if this is that fighter's card. Jon Jones? He almost fucking killed both these people.
Jones defeated DC in a 5-round fight by unanimous decision. However, a few months after the bout, he was involved in a car accident, he hit a pregnant woman and fled the scene. Later, drugs were found in his car. Jones was sentenced to a fine and 100 hours of community service. The UFC suspended him indefinitely and stripped him of his title. DC became the new champion after defeating Anthony Johnson, then defended his belt by beating Jones's former rival, Gustafsson. After Jones's court case was settled, the UFC lifted his suspension. The rematch, Jon Jones versus Daniel Cormier 2, was scheduled for UFC 197, but when DC got injured, Jones faced Ovince St. Preux for the interim title instead.
I'm here with the winner, Jon Jones. Welcome back.
Thank you so much. I don't think I want that belt. It's not the real belt. I want my actual belt back.
Dana White had a big fight in mind for UFC 200, the interim title holder Jon Jones against the real title holder DC.
Mr. Jones, here's your driver's license, your registration, and your insurance.
That I was not drag racing.
Actually, I do know that you were drag racing.
Both know that I did not speed. You and I both know.
Okay.
You are an absolute fucking liar.
Well,
No, you're not doing your job. You're fucking picking this fucking Corvette out for no reason.
A few months before UFC 200, Jones was pulled over for speeding and cursed at the police. He was arrested and managed to get away with just a fine, but a bigger incident was on the way.
It is a small pill he put into his body here in Albuquerque that's caused a big uproar worldwide.
Jones claims he failed his drug test because of a male enhancement pill.
Basically, what did you take?
So I took an off-brand Cialis pill.
Man, come on. Come on.
Fuck, I'm so sorry. I know, I'm so fucking sorry.
Jones was suspended from the sport for 1 year, and the rematch was postponed once again. During this 1-year period, DC defended his title once and waited for Jones. The Jones versus DC fight was scheduled for UFC 214.
I don't know, man. I guess if you win both fights, there is no rivalry, so.
I want to take this time to thank Daniel Cormier for being
my biggest rival and motivator.
But after the fight, Jones tested positive for doping once again. The result was changed to no contest, and the title was returned to DC. Jones received another 1-year suspension from the sport. During this time, DC moved up to heavyweight, won the heavyweight title, and became one of the first UFC fighters to hold 2 belts at the same time. A year later, Jones's suspension ended. He wanted to fight DC for the 3rd time, but DC was now competing at heavyweight and had vacated the light heavyweight title. Jones returned and faced his old rival Gustafsson for the vacant belt 5 years after their first fight. This time, Jones finished Gustafsson and won a much easier victory. He later defended his title against Anthony Smith, Thiago Santos, and Dominic Reyes. However, Jones had begun to lose his sharpness. He won all 3 fights by decision, and especially in the Dominic Reyes fight, many people believed he had actually lost. Jones had been at the top for 10 years and remained unbeaten. There was nothing left to motivate him, even he admitted that he no longer trained as seriously as he used to.
Where I would party 1 week before every fight, and I did it throughout my whole career. I had this thing where I just felt invincible.
As far as partying and not sleeping right.
Mainly partying,
drinking.
Yes. Drinking, staying up all night.
Yeah.
Jones took a 3-year break from the sport and was now looking for a new challenge inside the cage, and he would find that challenge in a higher weight class. He decided to move up to heavyweight. His opponent was expected to be Francis Ngannou, but after Ngannou had problems with Dana White over his contract, he left the UFC. Jones's opponent became Cyril Gane, but for Jones, the opponent didn't really matter much.
Press forward, and I'm ready for a dogfight. I'm ready to bleed and sweat and leave my heart out there. I'm ready for however it goes.
He had a total of 15 title fights, 11 of which were title defenses. He holds 27 victories and has never truly been defeated. Inside the cage, he was neither close to being finished nor ever put in trouble. I don't think we'll ever see such a dominant champion in MMA again. However, I'll always wonder if, without his problems outside the cage, we could have seen an even more dominant Jon Jones.
You have a responsibility of greatness.
Yeah.
There's very few people that ever get to the position, not just that, the youngest ever UFC champion. Not just that. There's also responsibility that comes with potential.
Right.
It's not just like what you've done, and it's what you could have done.
After his 30s, everyone expected Jones to calm down a bit, but that didn't really happen. He continued to get involved in many incidents, both big and small. However, the worst one was when he was in Las Vegas for the UFC award ceremony, where he got drunk, assaulted his wife, and was later arrested.
Star fighter Jon Bones Jones was arrested early this morning in Las Vegas.
But is it really shocking anymore? I mean, it's really not. It's become not shocking. It's almost become like, uh-oh, he's in Vegas again. What's going to happen today? You can't even get him in Las Vegas for less than 12 hours.
Actually, Jones is a much calmer man inside the cage. Except for DC, he's always been respectful to all his opponents and never had any real animosity. However, once he steps outside the cage, it's clear that something goes wrong. Going back to the beginning of the video, do you think Jones is a bad guy trying to be good, or a good guy trying to be bad?
I think I am a bad guy that's trying to be good.
Achieving your goal.
Last thing.